Let's remind ourselves again about the definition of internet, that it is a huge global giant network and it connects smaller networks together, and millions of devices are connected to each other using this system. To get the better appreciation about the complexity of that system, let's have a look on a mapping diagram of our internet. So this is the mapping diagram, although it looks like some kind of a constellation or a galaxy. Somebody came up with this mapping diagram of our internet, and he mapped just a section of our internet just a few years ago. Here these bright spots or these stars, they are all actually an individual networks, and they're connected to each other by a huge web of our internet, and that is called internet. It also shows visually how internet is network of networks, where a lot of these big or small stars, this big star and these little stars, so all of these bright spots, wherever they are actually individual networks, and they are big and small, they are of different sizes, but they are connected to each other to make a huge mesh, and that is why we call internet a network of networks. Hopefully now, after seeing this diagram, it would be easier for you to visualize why we call internet as global gigantic network, which consists of other networks connected to each other. So it is important to realize that internet is global network of physical cables, which could include copper television wires, it could be TV cable, or it could be a fiber optic cables. Even wireless connection like Wi-Fi and 3G and 4G rely on these physical cables to access the internet. By infrastructure, we mean, as you can see on a slide here, we say that internet is actually a global infrastructure on which data communication can happen, and mostly that data communication is a digital data communication. So by infrastructure, in that definition, we mean that internet is an organizational structure which consists of different types of facilities. So it could be different kind of machines, it could be different devices, computers, cables, underground cables, under ocean cables, municipal networks, or it could be a home Wi-Fi networks that are connected to form the giant web or giant mesh of internet, where all those networks are connected with each other and they are making one big network out of that. So it is what this system can do. It can provide us with different kind of services. For example, it can provide us with the services of emailing, with the web service, with the file sharing, with online gaming, with streaming services, with social networking services, with chat and instant messaging services. So that means that web or World Wide Web is only one kind of a service which internet could provide. So if we consider internet as a huge set of services which it provides, then World Wide Web is kind of a small subset of the services which internet can give us. So we need to appreciate that difference between World Wide Web or simply a web and internet. World Wide Web is just, just to reiterate again, is just one service or portion of services provided by internet. There is a definition, different definitions of internet. I like to compare the internet with this network of highways, where these roads are actually providing the infrastructure for different type of traffic to flow. In a similar way, internet, it provides us with the infrastructure for a digital data communication to take place. And with that digital data communication, we can have different kind of services which we can get. It could be a web, as I've explained before, it could be an email, or it could be any other kind of data communication service. So again, just to summarize different differences between internet and web. Web is only one of the services provided by internet, whereas the World Wide Web, which is usually called a web for short, is a collection of different websites you can access through the internet. And that website is made up of different kind of text, images. It could have different kind of media, which could be audio or video, so it's a combination of these things, and it provides you with different kind of information or interactivity. Main thing to remember is whenever you go onto a browser, you are actually dealing with the World Wide Web at that time. And in web, the resources are identified by URL. So if you go onto your browser, on the top there is an address bar. Technically speaking, it's also called URL bar, because on you write the address of a website you want to connect, and the address is also called a URL, which means a universal resource locator. So it has, like, you know, when you type HTTP and then colon as here, this is actually a web address of something, you know, some website. So in web, the communication happens because of a protocol which is called HTTP. So HTTP or HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol is being called, and S means secure. So there are two types of it. But at the end of a day, this HTTP is a protocol, and whenever we say protocol, the word protocol means that two things could never communicate between each other if they don't agree on standard or same set of procedures or rules which they're going to be following. So that's what the word protocol means, is the agreed set of rules which the parties of a communication is agreed upon, and they follow that for a communication between them. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned, and Allah Hafiz.